I have to say I was too young to remember this. But you just have to admire the braveness and the guts of the men and women that lived through World War II. I can remember the first time my mum saw me in uniform she cried buckets. I cannot imagine the thoughts that came into her head, thinking of this suffering that happened at this horrific part of our heritage. The Normandy landings were the landing operations and associated airborne operations on Tuesday 6 June 1944 of the Allied invasion of Normandy and Operation Overlord during World War II. Codenamed Operation Neptune and often referred to as D-Day, it was the largest seaborne invasion in history. The operation began the liberation of France, and later Western Europe, and laid the foundations of the Allied victory on the Western Front. Planning for the operation began in 1943. In the months leading up to the invasion, the Allies conducted a substantial military deception, codenamed Operation Bodyguard, to mislead the Germans as to the date and location of the main Allied landings. The weather on D-Day was far from ideal, and the operation had to be delayed 24 hours. A further postponement would have meant a delay of at least 2 weeks, as the invasion planners had requirements for the phase of the moon, the tides, and the time of day that meant only a few days each month were deemed suitable. Adolf Hitler placed Field Marshal Erwin Rommel in command of German forces and of developing fortifications along the Atlantic Wall in anticipation of an Allied invasion. U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt placed Major General Dwight D. Eisenhower in command of Allied forces. The amphibious landings were preceded by extensive aerial and naval bombardment and an airborne assault, the landing of 24,000 American, British, and Canadian airborne troops shortly after midnight. Allied infantry and armored divisions began landing on the coast of France at 6:30. The target 50-mile (80 kilometers) stretch of the Normandy coast was divided into 5 sectors: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. Strong winds blew the landing craft east of their intended positions, particularly at Utah and Omaha. The men landed under heavy fire from gun emplacements overlooking the beaches, and the shore was mined and covered with obstacles such as wooden stakes, metal tripods, and barbed wire, making the work of the beach-clearing teams difficult and dangerous. Casualties were heaviest at Omaha, with its high cliffs. At Gold, Juno, and Sword, several fortified towns were cleared in house-to-house fighting, and 2 major gun emplacements at Gold were disabled using specialized tanks. The Allies failed to achieve any of their goals on the first day. Corentin, Saint-Lô, and Bayeux remained in German hands, and Caen, a major objective, was not captured until the 21st of July. Only 2 of the beaches, Juno and Gold, were linked on the first day, and all 5 beachheads were not connected until the 12th of June. However, the operation gained a foothold that the Allies gradually expanded over the coming months. German casualties on D-Day have been estimated at 4,000 to 9,000 men. Allied casualties were documented for at least 10,000, with 4,414 confirmed dead. Museums, memorials, and war cemeteries in the area now host many visitors each year.